So this has been a bit of a throwaway week in crypto. There really hasn't been much going on. It's been pretty boring, low volume. Although it's been green, it's been a modest green in terms of price. And it seems like nobody wants to make a wrong move one way or the other, buying or selling, right? And it seems like the entire market is just waiting for this very quickly approaching deadline, because in just 10 days, we are going to see a major change taking place. And what we need to talk about is how the market may in fact digest this data. Some people are screaming from the rooftops, it's crazy, it's going to drop the market, but it may not play out exactly how people are expecting. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that bell again, it's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So yes, ADA has started off on a bit of a green day. Most of the market has. We're up 1.73% on the daily after a couple days of red in terms of ADA. Nice little curve, and it looks like ADA's bouncing back in a very nice way here, trying to stick very close to that trend. Again, when we take a look at that SMA, we're just kind of putzing around this 200-day SMA. All right. So haven't really extended too far from there. Again, it's still very low volume across the crypto market. Even when we look at ADA itself, you guys can see that it's only about $500 million in daily trading volume. It's gotten very, very quiet throughout the space, $42 billion over the last 24 hours. And I would expect this probably to be the same case most of the day. Just not much taking place. BTC right now sitting at about 84.7. Again, attacking this top wedge, which would be obviously a bullish sign for BTC. And frankly, when we're looking at the total market cap of crypto, we're again very, very close to that breakout. So these are all really promising signs for the crypto market. But a lot of people are screaming about something that is coming on April 2nd and that the market needs to prepare for this. And this is obviously the Trump not retaliatory tariffs. This is the tariffs that are being imposed on USMCA products. All right. So now what's interesting about this is a lot of the time, tariff announcements have been negative for the market. And what I mean by that is retail's freaked out and dumped their assets. If we look back through this timeline, we can see many of these, especially early days in February, where the market just dumped. Every time that tariffs were announced, I'm sure you guys remember that. It was incredibly annoying and it got old very, very quickly. But I think a lot of people forget that as we got to the later announcements in terms of tariffs, things actually began to cool down just a little bit. For example, when we take a look at, when was it? The March 4th announcements, right? U.S. tariffs going into effect on Canada, U.S. tariffs going into effect on Mexico. Well, when we look at the overall market, March 4th was actually a pump day, all right? March 5th was a pump day. And then actually we got a little bit of a drop, a little bit of a retracement once we got to the 6th. And the 6th was actually the day where the U.S. decided to pause those tariffs on USMCA products, all right? So the market hasn't necessarily reacted to tariffs the way that people are anticipating. We had, tariff announcements on the 12th as well. If you guys remember, actually March 12th was a green day. So what I find kind of strange now is a lot of people are anticipating this event being a major dump day for the crypto market. For example, Merlin the trader is saying market crash incoming. If Trump tariffs goes through on April 2nd, the market could crash 10 to 20%. And the problem with that is, again, the market has become a little bit more mature, we'll call it, when it comes to this tariff news. And I've been realizing that it's really not as big of a deal as people are making it out to be. Now, here's the thing. I would expect a lot of game playing at that time, some potential manipulation taking place. What we're probably going to see is as we get to April 2nd, we are going to see a lot of short interest open. Would not surprise me at all. They've tried to do this many times before. And now that we actually know this date, I would expect to see the same thing. But here's the thing, right? A lot of people are, so conditioned for tariff news being bad for the crypto market. They're probably going to freak out and think it's going to move one way. And the market may have a different idea. All right. If we see this massive amount of short interest begin to creep in on top of BTC, on top of ADA, and basically throughout the crypto market, that may be a moment where the market makers actually decide to send things. So instead of getting, one of these where we have a drop day and we start to move down, it may actually be a little bit of a fake out that causes us to go on a breakout. All right. Now, this isn't to guarantee your financial advice or anything like this. I just want people to hear both sides of this. Yes, if retail overreacts and they start to sell off and we start to get into long leverage liquidations, we could see the market move down on April 2nd, right? But again, if there is massive short interest and the market makers are ready to send things to the upside, which they may in fact be, and I'll talk about this in just a moment, we may start to see more aggressive breakouts to the upside, more similar to what we saw back on March 4th. Now, why I'm saying that may be possible here is, since this news on even, we'll say March 12th, March 6th, there have been a lot of developments that have been taking place. We know that obviously trade discussions are taking place. We know the overseas stuff has really calmed down in a big way. And what has also really happened that has been huge is that large entities have been accumulating during this time. We've talked about the major over-the-counter buys in terms of institutional money. We talked about the massive accumulations taking place in terms of whales. They have very much bought the dip. And what they are probably prepared now is for a rip in the market. Okay. Now, I'm not from the future. I don't know what's going to happen here. Again, this could go both ways. So be prepared, right? What I would say is, me personally, I'm trying to have some capital on the sideline just in case we do get a drop so I can pick up some more cheap positions. But I'm also pretty well rounded out in my positions. I'm not playing games. And I'm prepared and ready for if the market decides to take off. That's kind of the way I'm going to play into this. We know that ADA has been showing a lot of conviction, a lot of resilience at these times. Again, it's one of the few that are still broken out and above the prices from that announcement all the way back on, what day was that? March 2nd? Yeah, on March 2nd, or surrounding the, digital reserve assets. So we're in actually a pretty decent spot right now. I'm not saying that we're, in an awesome spot. The market still has uncertainty. It's still waiting for this moment. If we do get running before that, awesome. If we go sideways beyond that, that's fine too. I'm patient. I understand that this market cycle is not necessarily playing out the way that people have anticipated. But again, we're continuing to follow what we've done historically speaking. The players, the events, those are the things that are different that make people think it's out of the range of normalcy, and it's not. So I appreciate you guys as always. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below. What do you think comes on April 2nd? Do we have this moment where the market cools down and starts to drop again? Or does everybody get surprised and do we start going on a run to the upside? But have a great day. Show your love below. Let me know your thoughts. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.